I mean, it's clear and obvious that when somebody says you're insulting the memories of those who died and you're causing pain to the victims' families by asking for the truth, that's a logical fallacy. That is clearly, it's just clearly wrong. It's stupid.
Yeah, they're using the grief of the families and the dead as a shield against us for asking real questions.
Yeah,
so they're abusing the dead.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. Not only are they disrespecting the dead, they are supporting those who, still to this day, have gotten away with mass murder. So they should really think twice about using that excuse to dismiss what we have to say.
And these killers are still on the loose as well and planning to stage more events. Make no mistake. But the fact that we've been exposing them kind of takes that false flag tool away. What did you think when New Yorker magazine, Cy Hirsch, and then even Keith Olbermann came out and admitted that Dick Cheney was planning to stage terror attacks on our ships to blame it on Iran with U.S. patrol boats painted up like Iranians, and then they tried to have that staged event with fake radio chatter saying we blow you up in 1 minute. And I said that was staged at the time. Then it came out it was staged, and then it comes out they ordered the torture. I mean, these really are war criminals. These really are bad guys. I mean, this is on record. They've staged so much terror in the past. How can people not understand that it's normal to point the finger at them, not just because of their history or the evidence, but because of the motive?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, only they stood to gain from all of these atrocities. It's key bono. It's who has benefited. In the case of 9/11, it certainly wasn't the 19 people who supposedly died in carrying out the attack. It certainly hasn't been Osama bin Laden. But arguably Halliburton has certainly benefited. Dick Cheney has certainly benefited. Other military contractors, energy corporations. I mean, the list goes on. If you follow the money, it's clear who has benefited. And given the fact that they announced their agenda before the day, and then that agenda has been prosecuted every day since, and they've been invoking 9/11 and its victims as justification for everything that they've done here and everything that we've been doing abroad. I mean, it's quite clear. I mean, I don't understand where this bottomless well of benefit of the doubt, where this comes from, and when does it finally run out? I mean, a government that lies about air quality and exposes people to toxic dust intentionally in order to reopen Wall Street, a government that legalizes torture, that manufactures legal opinions in order to justify circumventing the Constitution so that they can torture people, a government that illegally wiretaps. And look, on Olbermann, you had Russell Tice go on there about 3 months ago and tell Olbermann to his face that the NSA was collecting information, specifically collecting information on intellectuals and journalists. And you see Olbermann's face go white there for a second.
And Congress.
I mean, like, what more? I mean, with all of these damning, realities, where is I don't understand when is the wall of cognitive dissonance finally going to break and people just accept the fact, or at least entertain the very serious possibility and look at the evidence of 9/11 being an inside job and all these other things that you're talking about. I mean, and in this day and time, there's just so much going on, Alex. My head swirls. I sometimes for a couple weeks, I literally just have to totally tune out because I feel like it's just too much. I can't, continue with my day. I can't continue just living life normally because I'm so caught up in all these tectonic events that seem to just come one right after the other. It's the economy. It's pipe bombs being detonated in New Jersey. It's, the massacre at the Jewish Museum, or this unfortunate shooting of the security guard at the Jewish Museum. Glenn Beck shooting his mouth off and trying to make these links between 9/11 truth and this psycho who committed this crazy act the other day. I mean, it's just so much, and it's endless. It's just endless.
And it's always right on time. This Brune guy, Von Brune, was in federal custody for 6 years, and it has classic Southern Poverty Law Center fingerprints, not exactly ADL. I mean, it was Southern Poverty Law Center and declassified FBI documents running the Elohim City white supremacist compound that McVeigh came out of. And it's the same with all these, quote, black Muslim groups that turn out to be black Christian street kids who they pay money to just dress in camo, and they give them a warehouse. And then even mainstream news has to admit time and time again that it's totally made up.
Wow.
Or fake Klan groups in Dallas. I mean, led by the FBI, they're going to blow things up. And right on time as the Federal Reserve is about to be audited, that is so exciting. And But we've got to know that the elite are going to come after those of us that are fighting them, but we don't have a choice. But I sense in my gut, Daniel Sunjata, because of your courage and millions of other people's courage, that the momentum is shifting. We're not winning yet, but we're beginning to gain on them, and the arrogance is draining out of these corrupt people.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm sure you've seen, I know you've seen, as a matter of fact, you responded to it already thoroughly. When Glenn, in that clip with Glenn Beck and that, I guess that CIA veteran, I don't know who the other, do you know who the quote-unquote expert was that he was talking to? And
yeah, it was all a bunch of spooks and think tank. It was all intelligence operatives.
Okay. Well, you know, it just smelled of desperation. I hear the music, so we'll come back.
Exactly. No, you're right. I mean, they were just, and then you look at the CIA guy, Beck's such an egomaniac with narcissism that he was enjoying it, but the other spooks were, yeah, the American people of Al-Qaeda, yeah. I mean, they just looked like they could be blown over by, you know, by a 5-year-old. I mean, it was just unbelievable. I agree with you. Stay there. Daniel Sunjata is our guest. Final segment straight ahead.